What is going on, guys? Thanks so much for tuning into this video. Today I want to show you guys how I made this Chainsmokers type beat from scratch. I want to break down everything that went into this beat. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, and this is actually kind of a really cool beat because, you know, with this one, I actually made this beat using the vocals first. And so usually, you know, when I make a beat, I'll start making chords and drums and, you know, a bass line, and then I'll add some vocal elements, or I'll find a hook to use it. But in this beat, I started with the vocals and then made the beat around it. So let me dive into the project file right now and show you guys everything that went into this beat. So the first part of this beat came from finding this hook that I found online. I found it, I heard, you know, the lyrics. It just sounded really cool. I knew I wanted to do something. So this is what the hook sounded like.
Dripping like gold, dripping like gold. You've got me so wild, I'm out of control. Dripping like gold, heaven don't know. I'm a queen, I'm a queen, I'm a queen. So bow down to me, yeah.
So I knew two things right away when I heard this. I knew that first of all, this hook is crazy dope. I need to turn it into a beat. And I also knew, like, right at the end, I wanted to have the drop right there, right when this singer, you know, sings that last couple words. I knew it could just lead into a drop perfectly. And then have the drop right there. So then by using the key that this hook was in, I was able to come up with this chord progression. And I have this sound that sounds like this. I don't know, it's kind of like a marimba sound, some filtered sound, I don't even know, but it sounds cool. But this was the chord progression that I came up with to play with that hook. So two things about this chord progression. One is that these chords are, they're not too crazy, they're kind of structured, I think, especially with this lower note here that basically plays on every single beat. So like it flows really well with the hook when I play them both together like this.
Dripping like gold, dripping like gold. You've got me so wild, I'm out of control.
And then basically following that chord progression, I wanted to just add some simple kicks hitting on, you know, every single beat. So those three things, the hook, the chords, and the kick, is basically what started this beat. I then just kind of added, you know, some more elements, like kind of doubling up the main chords with another sound. And then just a simple bass line that, you know, again, follows the low end of those notes. And then just, you know, some other simple drums that aren't really too crazy. They, you know, similar to the chords and the kick drums. They just kind of fall on every single beat. So everything together was how I started the hook of this beat. I basically made this hook part, and then it sounded like this.
Dripping like gold, dripping like gold. You've got me so wild, I'm out of control.
And then I knew that I wanted to have some crazy drop for this beat. But the challenging part with this was, okay, so, you know, in the hook I have these kicks and these chords that play on every single beat like this. But then getting into the drop, I wanted it to kind of switch up and change the rhythm a bit. So I came up with these different chords and these different kicks that, you know, they don't play on every beat. They're kind of staggered in a way that gives it just a different type of movement. And then I also, you know, have some different percussion elements just to fill out the pockets a little bit of the drum elements. And then now, since I have that, I can add some other elements. Like I added just a simple 808 bass pattern that, you know, is very similar to the hook where it just plays the low end of the actual chords. I added a piano chord that just sounds, again, just playing the chords. It's a very simple drop. It's just a matter of placing everything. And some brass stabs too. And bring in those, you know, main chord sounds too, just to fill out this drop a little bit. So if you actually heard this beat on YouTube, you'll know that probably the coolest part is in the drop. I have this vocal synth lead, this melody playing, and I want to show you guys how I did it. So I started playing, I first found this sound here. And I came up with this melody to play over top of those chords that sound like this. So, you know, that kind of sounds cool together, but I think that this is probably the coolest trick that I added with this beat, is that I basically made another layer of the vocal synth lead with a different vocal chop sound that sounds like this. I mean, it's really distorted. It almost kind of sounds annoying on its own, if I'm being honest. But when you play the two together, it kind of creates this effect where you have, I'm trying to find the words to explain it, but it's almost kind of like you have like a choir or like, you know, different singers, even though it's like synthesizers and vocal chops, but it just kind of fills out the space, so it sounds like this. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this beat. I mean, you know, like I said, the hardest part was actually making the hook and then figuring out the drop, just how to make, you know, different movement for it, get something super energetic. And it took a while to figure it out, but I don't know, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I hope that you guys, you know, feel the same way. Let me know in the comments what you think of this beat. And also, if you guys want to hear the full beat, you know, hear how it sounds, it is on YouTube. I'll put a link to it up in this card right here, also in the description. Yeah, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.